All right, everybody, we're about to get started here shortly. Strength and conditioning with Lucas. Get yourself a towel. Get yourself a towel. We're going to be using the towels throughout the workout. So allow us to set up really quick. Give you some time to prepare. Get yourself a towel. Good?
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna just use my soundtrack on my phone, right?
All right, everybody, getting ready to get started here. Let's start it like this. All right, everybody. Antonio Davis, Holy Athlete Academy. This is Lucas. He'll be running us through a strength and conditioning portion today. Once again, we're doing this for Live for Lives charity drive, something we wanted to come up with for just to give back for our service here for the Save the Children Coronavirus Response Fund. We're giving you a balanced regimen. Today is day 5, strength and conditioning. Hopefully you were able to tune in yesterday with Pilates with Sharon. I jumped in there as a special guest, and I'll be a special guest today with Lucas here. So let us get started here. He's going to introduce his workout and what he's got planned for us here. So we'll bring what we have going on closer to you. I'll hold it here, Lucas, man. You can go ahead and explain things for you.
So to break it down, we're gonna start off with our stage 1 connection. We're gonna open up with 30 seconds of Malasana, so yoga pose. We're gonna try and pair our breathing with a neck turn to open up our neck, get a little bit of neck rotation going. Then we're gonna move into stage 2 for control. We're gonna work through all of our different openers for our shoulders, upper body, moving down into our lower body, getting our ankle opened up, moving into our hips also. Progressing from that stage, we're gonna work into our strength portion. We're gonna start with our legs, crushing our lower body, working on our trunk and our stability component. Then progressing into our core work. We're gonna crush our core today. And then we'll move into push if we have time at the end. Finishing up, we're gonna end with our stage 4.
I think we'll have some time, man.
Unloading, restorative yoga. We're gonna just finish it up with something to kind of ease our bodies from all the strain we put on it throughout the week.
Coolest system down. So once again, this is like our motto here. You know, we like to build up the system, kind of progressively work the mechanics. Things get a little more fluid as we work our way to the top here. So we're gonna let Lucas kind of start things off here, and I'll jump in accordingly. All right, man.
We're gonna angle this down a little bit more. All right. Pull this.
There you go.
So we're gonna leave the towel off just to the side to start.
All right, man.
We're gonna open up our stance. We're gonna sit into Malasana. So as far as we can get into our stance comfortable, we're gonna try and level those hands out, those palms together. Keeping that spine nice and long, we're gonna take a deep breath in through our nose, releasing out our mouth. Really trying to center that breath here. Once we feel stable and controlled in this midpoint, we're gonna try and pair that breath with a neck rotation. So slowly turning, we're gonna inhale. Once we get to the farthest point of tension and rotation, we're gonna release. Come back to our midpoint. Inhale. Got one more time on each side. Good work, everybody. Recentering ourselves here. We're gonna release those arms, press through. We can walk our feet in if we want. We're gonna grab our towel now. We got our hip opener, so we're gonna slowly progress every week. Our goal is eventually to get, depending on how long we're isolated, a 5-minute hold in the morning.
5 minutes?
That's the one that we're gonna start. That probably goes for that 5-minute hold. So
For some of us who
That's
can't
our
get
goal.
that low that early, man, just get as
that's
low
our,
as you can.
our progression. Yeah, slowly work towards it.
It's tight on the hips, so work your way to that point. You don't gotta sink down all the way. Just find that sticking point for you. And eventually, as you continue to do that over and over, your hips will start to open up.
Definitely. So next up, we're gonna get into our shoulder prep and our just all around over body, our prep for our workout. So at home, if we have a towel, it works perfect. Otherwise,
So one. Grabbing options, okay.
yeah. So if you have a pipe at home, that's preferred. It'll give us the most stability throughout the whole movement. But we can also use similar, so like if we have a belt, the belt will work as well. But I think everybody should have a towel.
I think everybody got a towel.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna start with our rotator cuffs. We're gonna work forward here. We're going up and over. So depending on how flexible and how much rotation we have in our rotators, we can open up that grip. The wider we go, the easier it will be. Trying to get that full rotation back. Coming forward. So that deep breath we were working on, we're gonna pair with it now. We're inhaling as we go over. back. Releasing that breath once we get to that midpoint. We're halfway there.
Good. Scoop those shoulders, try to keep the ribs in. Try not to let that lower back arch on you. Keep a strong frame.
Keeping those arms nice and long throughout the whole movement. Two more.
Nice and controlled.
We're gonna be working around the world now. So as one side dips, we extend around, getting those traps a little bit. Still trying to pair that deep breath with the rotation.
Sometimes we're a little tight in our shoulder mobility. So especially when you get back here, you're trying to open up as much as you can. Sometimes we're a little stuck right here. We finish the movement right here. Let's see if we can bring it down here without arching that lower back and just keep working around. Listen to your bodies. Don't do too much than what your body's actually ready for. Just try to get as much range of motion as you can.
Alright, we're at that halfway point. We're gonna take it back around the other way, evening out that stretch. Trying to keep those arms nice and long throughout the movement. Two more. And last one. Working around. We're gonna press overhead so we can narrow that grip up a little bit. We're gonna go for our overhead press into half moon, so we're gonna keep that spine nice and long here. We're gonna get into our half moon side body stretch. Using that same breath pattern, we're inhaling. We got one more time each side.
And exhale. Inhale.
Alright, we're gonna work for our back extension now. Trying to get as much as we can into it. Reach into our forward fold. Trying to get those knuckles to the ground. We're gonna hold here for 30 seconds. Taking a nice deep breath through our nose. Slowly trying to inch our way closer to the ground. Taking one more deep breath here. We're gonna slowly rise up, rounding that back over. Letting those vertebrae align. And cleaning those shoulders into alignment. Alright. We're gonna work into our hamstrings a little bit. We're just gonna work a couple static stretches. Using our towel for So we're going to be stretching out our posterior side of our leg here.
Back.
So So we'll start with our right leg. We're gonna just attach it to our ankle. We're gonna sit back, trying to keep that left leg post plastered to the ground. We're just holding that ankle. We're gonna provide as much tension as we feel comfortable with here. Taking in a couple nice deep breaths again. We're going to try and work a little bit of flexion in our ankle here. So we're going to press through to that ankle, keeping that tension. So we got our toe pressing through now. And then we're releasing that tension, leveling our foot back out. We're going to open that hip up now. So we can take this left arm, bring it to the side. Open that hip up as much as we feel comfortable, trying to keep that toe straight up. And taking those deep breaths in through the nose, out the mouth. Trying to get that hip opened up as much as possible. Again, we're going to add that little bit of plantar flexion in our ankle. So we're pressing those toes out now. Trying to get a little deeper into that stretch. And we're releasing, we're flattening that foot out. We're going to go across body now. Taking that other arm, laying it out. Again, we're just taking nice deep breaths. Trying to get that toe pressed through if we can. Nice deep breath here. Leveling that foot out. We're gonna switch it over to our left leg. Sit up. We're going to even up that stretch with that other hip opened up. So again, to start, falling back. Taking nice deep breaths, trying to provide as much oxygen to our body as possible here. We want to be as controlled through the breathing as we can be.
Roger that.
Alright, we're going to add to it. We're going to press through with that toe. Trying to get the plantar flex to the ceiling. And we're releasing that tension, leveling that foot out. We're going to open it up, cross body. Again, we're going to press through that toe, add to the stretch a little bit. Trying to get a little bit of ankle activation here. And releasing that tension. Coming cross body.
Switch up the hands.
Trying to keep that opposite arm plastered to the turf.
Glutes opening up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Almost there. We're going to add that toe press. And we're releasing. sit up. We're gonna move just to our knees here, so we're gonna be in a forward stance, forward lunge. So how this one's we're gonna work our quad stretch here. So if we're in our forward lunge, we can reach back, get as much into it as we want.
Towel, raise.
So if we need to, we can add the towel to kind of get that stretch in there. But if we have the flexibility and the range of motion, we're just going to be reaching back and grabbing for that quad. Grabbing for that foot, stretching out that quad. Again, trying to take nice deep breaths here. We don't want to hold our breath throughout any of the stretches. Almost there. We can lean a little bit, try and get a little bit more lean forward here, get a little deeper into that stretch. And we're dropping out of it. Release. Work to that forward lunge on the other side. Reach back for that ankle. And we're working forward. This region's typically tight for most people. Our quads, and most people are quad dominant, so trying to get into the stretch as much as we can here before we get into our strength workout. Almost there. We're gonna lean into it a little bit more. And we're releasing that ankle. Good work, everybody. We're gonna stand up. We're back to our towel. Alright, so we're gonna work to our 90 now. We're gonna drive that heel through, so we wanna make that 90-degree angle with our knee. We're driving to 90, we're working that ankle stability under our right ankle here, locking that foot into the turf or carpet at home. We're gonna work some ankle rotations now. Pressing, keeping those arms pressed to the ceiling. Good work. Bringing it back around the other way. Trying to get that ankle opened up as much as possible here. Work, focusing on that balance. Leveling that foot out, and we're down. Switching over. Working those rotations.
Good. Make it nice and smooth.
Trying to get all those little crickets and crackles out of it. Working back around the other way. Work. We're still rotating. We're back over. We got our hip opener now. So we're trying to open that hip up. 1. Again, we don't want to hold our breath here.
Doing our best of locking on our balance. Still pairing that breathing with your movement.
And we're down. Off to that other side. Gotta even up that stretch always. Last one. Bringing it back, good control. Trying to be as stable as possible over that ankle that's locked in. We're back up, we got one more set. We're working those knee extensions.
Trying to really point those toes when we're extending that leg out as far as we can.
Last one. Work. Locking that other side in. Gotta even it up.
Try to stay strong in your spine here. Keep those arms long.
Last one. Kicking through it. Work. Alright, we got those arms. We can relax it a little bit, take that tension out of the rear delts. We're gonna go up one more time. We got a little bit of movement to run through now. So we're gonna be working forward, and we're gonna pair in that shoulder rotation, getting that extra extension, and then we step back. So we're coming forward, we rotate, then we step back as we rotate back up. Switch to the other side. Good, trying to pair that breath with the movement. Halfway there.
Try to keep those feet, knees, and hips diving forward, straight line.
2 more. We're out of it. All right. We can release our rear delts one more time. We're gonna work our side body stretch now. Get into a T-spine rotation. So we're working down to our loaded lunge, and then we're gonna work that lateral twist of our torso. So we should feel that stretch all the way through our side body into our IT band. So we're up, and we're forward, holding, working laterally to that same side our knee is on. Bringing it back, pushing through.
So it's a little more balance.
Working on your stability, rotating that trunk. We don't want our arms turning and twisting. We want to keep our body straight and just work that lateral rotation. Work halfway there. Last one. All right. We can drop our towels. That concludes our warm-up. We're gonna grab a quick water, rehydrate, and then we'll be back.
Feel loose.
Open up a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright. So we don't get towels, don't get strength.
All right.
Alright, so next up in our phase, we have our strength portion. So we're going to start out again with our legs. Our trunk is our most important stability component, so we're going to work on strengthening that. We're going to start out with just our, where's the board? I said it's up here.
Yeah.
It's up in front of us.
Yeah. Right there.
Alright, so we're going to start off with our 10 times 3-second pause. So we're going to be working for just our regular squat. We're going down, we're going to hold as deep as we can get into it. If we can only go to our 90, that's fine. If we can get a little deeper into it, that's better. We don't want to overextend it and get to where we're sitting on the ground. Puts too much tension on our knees, right? So we'll be working for our pause squats to start. Prepping those legs, we're down. We're holding, 1, 2, 3, pressing through. 2, 2, 3, pressing through. We're pairing that breath, we're inhaling. 3, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. 5, 2, 3. Halfway there. 6, 2, 3. 7, 2, 3. 8, 2, 3. 9, 2, 3. Good work, everybody. Last one. 10, 2, 3. Pressing through. Alright, we're gonna shake it off a little bit. We're gonna work for our single leg stuff. We're gonna progress into more strength single leg work, but to start, we're gonna work our stability. So we're working that single leg, trying to get a little bit of bend in our knee for our RDL, levering back that other leg, touchdown, and levering back up. So if we have to, our modification for this would be, we can go both legs up, work for that movement forward, and then come back to a stationary stance. Otherwise, if we can, we're gonna try and work, stay balanced that whole time.
You got it.
Just push through it. Locking that foot into the turf. That's 2. 3, trying to keep those eyes up if we can. 4, halfway there. 5. 6, good, locking that ankle in. 7, last one. And 8, good work, shaking off that ankle. Working to that left side. Going forward. Teetering back, that's 1. 2.
Just try to keep those hips squared towards the floor as best you can. Not trying to stack the hips here.
3. 4. 5. 3 more, pushing through it. 6. 7. And 8. Good work. Alright. Shaking it off a little bit. Next up, we got our open stance lateral lunge. So we're gonna get wide as we can. We'll be working across, pressing through for that same side. So we got 1, pressing through. 2. Trying to keep both feet leveled out for this one. 3. 4, we're keeping our shoulders back, eyes up. 5. 6. 7. Good, controlling that breathing. 8. 9, last one. And 10, working to that other side. We don't got a break here. Pushing through it. 1. 2. 3. 4, good, making sure not to hold that breath. 5. 6. 7. 8, almost there, 2 more. 9. And 10. Where we can walk our feet up. All right, now we gotta find a wall. We got 2 more portions before we take a quick water. So we can chase it over here. All right, so we're gonna be working our wall sit. Just a static hold to start. So we got 30 seconds. You ready? And we're going. So we're trying to keep those knees at 90 if we can, leveled out. Making sure to control our breathing here. Almost there. Pushing yourself. 5 seconds. And we're down or up. You can stand up. We got a little breather. So now we're gonna add a little bit to that, a little bit of proprioception. So we're gonna add an instability to our stable movement. So we're gonna be on the wall. We're gonna be working through our single leg kick throughs here. So we don't have any time now. We gotta stable. So we gotta drive through that left leg so that we can kick out that right leg. That's 1. Drive through that right leg, kick out that left leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, halfway there. 9, 10, 11, trying to get that toe pointed out. 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Down, pressing back up. We're gonna get a quick water, rehydrate again, and then we're back into it for our second set of strength for our leg portion. I feel like I'm teaching my first class all over again.
Yeah, bro, it's very
That's kind of what it feels like. I'm not
welcome to the future, bro.
Alright, so next up we got our progressive stage. So we're gonna work a little bit more. So we're gonna, rather than hitting our pauses now, we're just gonna work through our range of motion, going all the way down and pressing up. We're gonna work for a set of 12, and then we're gonna get into our reverse lunge. I'll run through it all, each step by step as we go through it. So to start, we get our 12, working through it. That's down and up, just finding that range of motion here. 2, 3, 4, good, pairing that breath. 5, we're inhaling. 6, 7, 8, 9, almost there. 10, 11, and 12. Pressing through, beautiful. All right, so now we're gonna work a little bit of our stability component. We're going reverse lunge to forward lunge. So how this works is we step back, then we step forward. We step back, then we step forward. We're one big kinetic chain here. So we want to have those arms tied in. The opposite arm is paired with that knee. And we're working. So that's 1, 2. Good, nice and stable over that ankle. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one more, and 8. We don't got a break here. We're working to that other side now. So we're stepping back with that left foot, coming forward. Stepping back and forward. That's 2, 3, trying to find that balance over that under that right foot. 4, halfway there. 5, still controlling that breathing. 6, 7, and 8. Good work, everybody. Pressing out of it. We got our single leg split squat now. So we're really gonna load it.
Sideways.
So if we're at home, obviously we don't have a workout bench, most of us. We can either use a couch, our bed, or I was able to use a chair. And you can just put a little pad on it, but anything that's around this height. Okay? So how this works, we're gonna be balancing that left leg up, getting as far out as we feel comfortable within our split stance. We're gonna have our knees strong over our ankle, keeping our eyes up. We got those same arms paired in. We're going down as far as we feel comfortable, pressing through that heel, driving up. So that's 1, 2, 3, keeping those eyes up. 4, we don't want to be looking down, rounding those shoulders up. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good work. Switching over to the other side, and keeping it up. So again, we got our right foot balanced, left leg forward, opposite arm paired with that knee, and we're down, pressing through. That's 1, 2, 3. We're inhaling, releasing as we explode up. 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, and 8. Good work, everybody. We can get ready to bench. So now, our last little bit of stability as we progress into our core work is going to be our bridge. Laying down, how this works, we're going onto our shoulder blades. We have our check markers so we can make L's with our hands. Bring our elbows down and then place them at our lower back under our hips to make sure we're keeping our hips up high enough. We're going to work for a static hold to start. So we're just pressing through those heels, trying to keep those hips up, and we're holding. Trying to control our breathing here. Halfway there. Making sure to keep those hips up. Driving through that turf with our heels. I want us to get one more tight squeeze, and then we're going to slowly lower our hips, dropping down. So that was our warm up. Now we're going to get into our single leg work. To start, we're going to work just our kick throughs. So we're going to be going up again onto our shoulder blades, getting our back. All of our posterior side is off the turf. We're going to be kicking through. Trying to get that full extension in those legs. That other hip stays up the whole time. 2, 3, 4. Nice and controlled through the movement. 5, 6. Inhale as we go up and releasing as we come down. 7, 8, 9. Good work, making sure to keep those hips up. 10, halfway there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good work, everybody. 16, 17, 18. 2 more. 19 and 20. We're going to drop those hips. We're going to reward ourselves here for a little bit of work. We're going to drop those hips, keeping those arms plastered, taking a nice deep breath here, opening up that lower spine. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out the mouth. We're going to rotate those over to the other side, evening up that stretch. Good. Trying to center that breath here. Bring our legs back to our midline. We're going to be pressing through. We got our single leg dips now. So how these work is we're going up, pressing through onto our shoulder blades. We're going to extend that leg so that it's even with our hip, and we drop down, and then we press through. Really killing that single leg work today.
Bro.
We got 8 and 8. Let's crush it. And we're down, pressing through that heel. That's 1, 2, good work. 3, 4, halfway there. Really driving through that heel. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good work, everybody. Leveling it out. We're gonna move over to that other leg, extend our left, and we're dropping those hips. Pressing through, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, good work. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good work. Driving through that heel. Again, we're going to reward ourselves. Catching our breath here, we're going to, rather than isolating that movement, we're going to activate it, and we're going to touch down as far as we can get in that tension, and then we're going to bring it across to the other side. Pulsating back and forth, just getting as far into the stretch as we can comfortably, and then moving back to the other side. Opening up that lower spine here. And catching your breath for our final, our burnout. Our last set for our legs. Got one more time, dropping that knee to each side. Centering that breath, we're bringing our knees back to our midline. So for our final set, we got our walkouts, our burnout. We're going up onto our glute bridge. How this one works is we're going to walk out to our midpoint. We're going to take a step, lengthening that body a little bit. And then we get out to our farthest point. We're on our heels. Just our heels and our shoulder blades are the only thing touching the turf right now. Everything else, our entire posterior chain is activated. Yeah, so that's going to be our burnout. And then we'll walk it back to our midpoint, and then back finishing, locking it out at our glute bridge. So we're up, glute bridge, locking it out for our static hold here. Prepping for our burnout. Really trying to push yourself here. This is our last rep at it. And then we'll get water, rehydrate. So we're taking that step to the midpoint. We're going to get a little bit of length in our body. Controlling that breathing as much as possible right here. We don't want to burn ourselves out before we get to our progressive last stage here. Taking one more deep breath at this midpoint. And we're stepping out, getting that full extension onto our heels, locking out that body, crushing that entire posterior side of our chain. Good work, everybody, pushing yourself. 5 seconds. Woo! And we're back to our midpoint. Good work. Bringing it back, locking it out. We got that little bit of extension still. We got 5 seconds.
Really?
And we're back to our bridge, locking it out, trying to get those hips as high as we can here. Our final set, I want us to squeeze our glutes as much as possible. And we're going to add this final activation. I know we can do it. We're getting onto our toes. Killing those calves to finish it out. This is our burnout. We should be tired here. And we're leveling down, dropping those hips. All right, we're gonna reward ourselves again. We're gonna take those legs up. We're going into happy baby. That plasters our lower back to the turf, and we're gonna shimmy a little bit from side to side. Rolling out that lower back, giving ourselves a little massage while that tension we just built up. Trying to control that breathing as much as possible here. Taking nice deep breaths into the nose, releasing that out to the mouth. Alright, and once we're ready, we can roll our way up. Grab a quick water, rehydrate one more time, and then we'll be back for some core work.
Hey.
That's all you like to be good. They're good enough.
My booty.
Yeah, the bun buster right there. Alright, so progressing out of that, we were working a little bit of our core and those bridges. Now we're gonna move into our actual core work. So we're just gonna start out with, we got 6 sets, we're gonna work 3 first, take a break, and then work 3 more. We got just our simple static hold for our plank. You wanna go sideways here? Yeah. So one of us will be forward. We're trying to engage our abdomen as much as possible here, so I want us to try and clench those muscles throughout this. Keeping that core nice and locked out. We got 30 seconds of just our regular plank hold here. Again, we're trying to provide our body oxygen throughout this whole workout, so we can just take easy breaths into the nose, out the mouth. Almost there. And we're down. Good work, everybody. That's our core prep. Now we're gonna work our sides. We wanna get into our side obliques here. So we're gonna be going up. Main thing here is we wanna keep our arm parallel with us under our shoulder. We're gonna be looking out. We can get that arm extension overhead. We got 30 seconds on our side here. And we're up. Making sure to keep that hip up. We don't want to be drooping down. Again, trying to lock out our core and engage those abdomen muscles as much as possible here. Good work. 10 seconds left, pushing yourself. Again, trying to control that breathing. And we're down. We gotta switch over to that other side to even it up. Pressing through, getting that hip up. Full arm extension. Nice and strong under that shoulder so we aren't putting too much pressure on that rotator cuff. Halfway there. And we're down. All right, so that's our little prep warm up for our core. Now we're gonna have it a little bit more engaging for our last 3 sets here. So to start, we're gonna work our legs, then our arms, then back to our legs again. We're gonna be planking out. How this one works is we're gonna be walking out. So we take that step out, step in, step in. So if we can see in the camera, out, in. Yep, we got it?
Got it.
And we're working, so we're out, in, that's 1, out, in, 2, out, in, 3, out, in, 4, out, in, 5, out, in, 6, out, in 7, out, in 8, out, in 9, out, in 10, and we're down. Now we're gonna get into our arms. Catching your breath here, we're gonna have just 15-second break in between each of these progressive sets. So we're gonna be up, planking, and then we're pushing through and down. That's 1. We ready? And we're going. Pressing through, rotating down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last 1, and 10. Good work. We got a little breather again. Catching your breath. Now we got a set of 12. We're going plank up, knee to armpit. So trying to get that knee as high as we can get it up. And we're up. Final set here for our abdomen, burning it out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway there. 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, and 12. Good work, everybody. That concludes our core portion. Am I good to keep going?
Yeah, you want to do a push? Do it.
All right, we're gonna finish with our push.
I'm gonna go hard today. This is Friday. Good Friday.
Yeah, finish the week strong.
Good Friday.
All right, so we got 3 sets of push-ups to burn it.
Okay.
To start, we got our walkout. So we actually skipped a little bit of our Superman warm-up. So we're gonna work a little bit of our shoulders here since we didn't do much with those. We're gonna be walking out. We get out to our plank, we press. Walk it back.
2 press?
Yep, so we got a set of 5, just 10 presses, 5 walkouts, yeah? And we're walking out. Get into that stable plank, pressing twice, working it back. I want us to get that full stance, get locked out all the way straight up. Then we're dropping down again. Pressing twice. 2. Nice and tall. Three. Controlling that breathing throughout this whole movement. Got 1 more. Finishing strong. Good work, everybody. Nice and tall. Shaking it out a little bit. We got our loading now. So this is our eccentric push-up. We're gonna be taking it as slow as we can. We're just gonna dial it into 3 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, press through. Okay? How this works, we're gonna be working first 5 reps. Our last rep, we're gonna be on knee for the hold. Okay? So our last rep is our burnout. Really trying to load our muscles as much as possible here. And we're up. Slowly dropping. 1, 2, 3, pressing through. 2, 2, 3, pressing through. 3, 2, 3, pressing through. 4, 2, 3, pressing through. Keep those eyes up. 5, 2, 3. I'm gonna hold. Really loading that low stance. Burning it out here. And pressing through. Good work. All right, so we got our last set, our burnout. Just 10 reps. We can either push ourselves with the diamond stance, or if at home we're tired, we just want to finish with our working our regular push-up. Work your form for that one. All right, and we're up, last 10. We're gonna go diamond stance to really push ourselves through, down and up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway there. 6, 7, 8, 9, last 1, pushing through it. 10, good work. All right. That concludes our stage 3 strength portion. We're gonna finish with our unloading restorative yoga phase, stage 4. So for our cool down today, we're gonna do a little bit of restorative yoga. We're gonna start by extending forward into our child's pose. Opening up the shoulders, opening up that chest we just worked. Trying to take nice deep breaths in here. Cooling down from our workout today. Really trying to relax those muscles that we just put through a lot of tension. Taking one more deep breath. So now we're going to take our one arm, go out to the side, and then extend this other arm out to the side. So we're going to a little bit of side stretch for our child's pose, getting into our obliques inside of our body. And then taking one more deep breath here. We're going to work across to that other side. Taking one more deep breath here. We're going to bring it back to our child's pose. And we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to take this left arm, we're going to slide it through. And that rotation, shoulders into our lower spine. Trying to provide our body with as much oxygen here at the end of our workout as well. One more deep breath here. Come out of there. Even it up with that other side. Again, taking one more deep breath here. Releasing, we're going to come up. We're going to child's pose one more time. This time we're going to get onto our fingertips to get a little bit more into those shoulders. Taking nice deep breaths here. Taking one more deep breath. We're going to level those hands out. Float through, so we're going to pull our eyes up, we're going to float through. That back stretched out into our cobra. We got our last one here, taking one more deep breath. We're going to drop back into child's pose, rounding those toes over. Engage them into the turf. We're going to press through in the downward dog. Hold that stance for a second. We're going to slowly walk our way up. Walking those hands to our feet. We're going to wait here. We're going to hold at our forward fold. First, engaging in that forward fold as much as possible. Taking nice deep breaths here. I want us to slowly rise just to where our fingertips are off the ground, our back is leveled out. We're at a dead hang here. Still trying to control that breathing. Taking nice deep breaths in through the nose, releasing out through the mouth. We're going to slowly rise, rounding that back over now again. Cleaning those shoulders into alignment. Namaste. That concludes our session today.
Good job, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
of course. Thank you for everyone who showed up. Hopefully you enjoyed the workout. And we'll see you guys next week.
He'll be here next week. Tomorrow, we're going to be here with Heather. She'll be taking us through yoga, and that'll conclude pretty much our week. Once again, this is we're just doing some online services here for our Life for Life charity drive, giving back to you guys as well. It's been a while. We have no idea how long this is going to be, but we want to do as much as we can. In the meantime, we're working on some things in the back end, like developing an app and being more mobile so we can deliver our services and our products to you guys. So we appreciate you. Thank you for those who already donated. Thank you for those who are going to be donating in the future. Stay healthy, stay safe, and God bless. Thank you. And Lucas, will see you next week.
Yeah, good stuff today, everybody.
I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here doing yoga. I'm doing everything. So it is what it is.